Leadership, culminated by research, is defined to encompass the social relationship between leaders and followers, where leaders intentionally influence an individual or group for the greater benefit of a common goal. On December 14, 2015, Flint, Michigan declared a state of emergency. Poor planning and deplorable decision-making resulted in the city's water crisis. Thousands of residents have been affected by extensive lead exposure due to water contamination. Ultimately, Flint residents will suffer long-term negative health impacts from this irreversible neurotoxin. The lack of prudent leadership was the clear and sole cause of this man-made disaster, but an alternative decision-making plan could have presented a more favorable outcome for the residents and governing officials of Flint, Michigan. Perhaps a different leader was in the active seat of the governorship in Michigan. The following details the plans that would circumvent the devastating effects of the current leadership's decisions. The new governor will be responsible for the following duties. Number 1. Produce and deliver a report on the condition of the state to the legislator, including information regarding water quality and civil unrest. Number 2. Making appropriate recommendations for annual budgetary spending based on the priority needs of the state. Number 3. Solicit federal assistance in case of a state emergency. Number 4. Oversee city officials and ensure adequate performance execution across the state. Number 5. Build and sustain meaningful rapport with constituents across the state in order to foster trust and open communication. The problem of lead contamination in the water is so complex, therefore it is most advantageous to take a critical thinking approach and utilize a decision tree to best analyze a comprehensive scenario of if and then decisions. Furthermore, leaders in public office need to consider the effects of not listening to the voice of the public. For this reason, the new governor will also utilize the Vroom-Yet-Yago model to decide whether or not an authoritative or consultative decision will take place. Factors that can impact the function of the role and influence decision-making are 1. Communication barriers. 2. Failure to adhere to the original purpose of the organization, which leads to a neglect of constituent relationships. And 3. Lack of emotional investment.